Hello, I'm meteorologist Ryan Leach, and this is the weather planning briefing for July 30th, 2020. Start off with our weather threat matrix. We've got a couple hot, dry days coming up and with very unstable conditions Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, we have a breakdown of the ridge, causing some hot, dry, and again, potentially windy conditions on Sunday and into Monday, whereas Monday we're looking at the main threat being from a wind shift. And then Tuesday, with a decent cool down in the temperatures, we expect things to be much less active weather-wise. So with the current satellite, we can see there's a very large low-pressure system off the west coast, and that flowing into that is this ridge of high pressure, which is currently dominating the area. And that's going to be the main feature for the next couple of days to dominate our weather before this low-pressure system finally moves in and causes the ridge to break down. This is a depiction of the ridge on Friday evening. You can see the ridge axis, where my mouse cursor is highlighting, lies pretty much over western Montana. And this is going to be basically the same pattern that we have on Saturday. It starts to break down on Sunday, and then Monday we have this trough move into the area. When that trough comes in, it's really a battle between the ridge, which you can see is really kind of leaned over a little bit in this image, and this trough that's coming in. And what happens is the ridge still, it doesn't really remain totally dominant, but it doesn't just go away. This isn't a full change in the pattern. So the ridge gets pushed down and this trough kind of rides up over it and through the flow. So the consequence of that is this maybe isn't as strong of a ridge breakdown as it could be. It's still a very significant change in the weather. It's just not as strong as, let's say, a full change in the weather pattern. So what this is going to lead to, this is for Friday, the afternoon highs and temperatures and low relative humidities. We've got quite a lot of areas down in Idaho that are going to be up over 100 degrees. A few places in western Montana that are also, especially in northwest Montana, that are going to be pushing the 100-degree mark. Even in Missoula, we're going to be very close. We're going to be in the upper 90s, possibly reaching 100 degrees. At the same time, we're going to be in the mountains. We'll be down into the low to mid-20s for the relative humidity with the valleys. Again, here's Missoula and Dillon reaching down into the teens. A lot of teens down in central Idaho. Riggins down around 14%. And also in northwest Montana, some areas reaching the teens. We've got Libby forecast on Friday to be around 16%. And this is really the most extreme day that we're looking at in terms of temperatures and humidities right now. There is some uncertainty with this, as it depends a lot on cloud cover and timing and things like that. But this right now is the best forecast we have. It should be pretty similar on Saturday and even to some extent on Sunday. But on Sunday, things we expect to start cooling down a bit. Then we get into thunderstorms and lightning. Again, this is Friday afternoon, and this is the period where we are most likely to have thunderstorms. This is our forecast for the probability of thunder, or we call it probability of lightning. It's calibrated based off of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. So you can look at this and say at any given point, the probability is just the probability of a cloud-to-ground lightning strike within about 10 miles. So that's focused on west central and southwest Montana with these 15 to 20% chances. And the reason we didn't bring this up in the matrix is just this is going to be very isolated in coverage, and we're not really expecting a lot of lightning strikes. There will be some lightning out there, but relatively little. So I think that the hot temperatures and the low humidities are going to be a bigger impact, especially on Friday and Saturday, than we're going to see from the lightning. That kind of brings me back to the weather threat matrix, where we had on Sunday we went for a high impact down in west central and southwest Montana for the wind. Right now the models aren't showing a lot of wind, maybe 10 to 15 miles an hour in there with those high temperatures. And that doesn't actually get us in or over the thresholds that we have established for red flag warnings. So it puts us in a marginal category. So we're very marginal for that level of impacts on Sunday. And this is a pattern that with the breakdown of the ridge that typically would have some of those higher winds. So it's something that we're watching very closely, and we do have the wind on there. The other thing is we're not really seeing much wind at all other than terrain-driven winds on Friday and Saturday. So when we get into that Sunday, having the winds pick up to that 10 to 15 miles per hour, mainly from the west and the southwest, that is going to be a change, and especially coming on the tail end of such a hot, dry period, we do expect some impact from that, even if it doesn't quite match our red flag criteria. Monday is also going to be a breezy day, but again, with those winds being so marginal right now in the forecast, I thought it was more significant to mention the S symbol, which, as you can see down here, refers to a significant wind shift, and that's when we have the breakdown and the dry cold front, and with that will come a wind shift. Tuesday again is very dry, a little bit breezy, but our temperatures are going to cool down enough on Tuesday that we don't have those hot impacts and we don't have those dry impacts, and again, it hasn't been very windy at all. Looking at the 6 to 10 day and the longer term outlook, we are expected to stay drier than normal, so we're not really looking at any significant chance at all for wetting rain. And we are going to be going to below normal. So once we do get this breakdown of the ridge, it kind of knocks the ridge down. You can see in the southwest how that ridge remains dominant, but it does kind of push it down out of our area and give us a slightly better chance for below normal, or below average temperatures. So that would be temperatures probably in the 80s for most of the region. And that's our briefing for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us anytime at 406-329-4840. Thank you.